before going, what are your values or priorities? And you
Mm,
can do this whether you're going with, just, a whole family or even just your partner. But really being able to think about what are the priorities and what are your values? What's important, right? So for example, you mentioned the long drive. So some families are going to have like a really clear plan that they want to stick to. And sometimes on a drive, you might see something that would want to pull you away. But if your value is to really hit your itinerary and do the things that you want to do, then it's really good for parents to be prepared for how they're going to respond if you see something along the way that kids want to do and you're not going to do that, right? So how are you going to respond to that? What are you going to say rather than getting surprised in the moment and being flustered? On the other hand, there are some families who see a road trip as an adventure and whatever pops up is game, right? And so if your value is spontaneity, you might be willing to skip some of the stops along the way for things that pop up. I know I always talk about Bluey because I love Bluey so much, but there's an
you
episode
do
where
love
they
Bluey, yeah.
big up Bluey. They have an episode and they're on a road trip and there's this giant peanut and it was the opportunity to get around the slow driver. So of course the dad bandit wanted to take it, but the kids were like, "We gotta go to the giant peanut." And so if your family value is to embrace the giant peanut, just having that conversation ahead of time, especially with the adults on the trip, that sets everyone's expectation and it can really prevent fighting, conflict, or disappointment on the trip.
Frustration, especially on the parent side.
Frustration for
Yeah.
sure. So that's one really big tip I have. If you can just think about those values ahead of time and discuss them again with the adults on the trip, and sometimes with the kids, I guess, depending on your kid's age,
Yeah.
that can really kind of set everyone up for success for a
Yeah,
trip.
like the 9-year-old you could probably have included in the conversation, but the 2 or 3-year-old, maybe not.